Humiliating experience. That is how the American Civil Liberties Union describes it when an innocent person is stopped and frisked by Chicago police. Now, Lisa Chavarria joins us now with more on what the ACLU is trying to do to stop this. Lisa.
Right. They have a new study that's out here, Darlene, and the concern is the stop and frisk. Now, it's been an issue that's been going on across the country, but the ACLU of Illinois says it's an even larger problem right here in Chicago. The ACLU conducted this study, and its numbers show more African Americans are being stopped without a justifiable cause. Officers are required to write down the reason for stops. Of the 300 contact cards collected by the ACLU, half of those stops gave an unlawful reason or no reason at all. In all of the stops that were looked at, 72% of African Americans were stopped, although they only make up 32% of the city's population. Last summer, 250,000 people were stopped, and none of those led to arrests. The authors of the study say even outside of minority neighborhoods, African Americans are disproportionately stopped. They found high numbers, for example, over in Jefferson Park, where African Americans make up 1% of the population, yet they account for 15% of all of the stop and frisks in that area. One concern the ACLU has is that Chicago police do not document how many frisks take place. They only document these contact cards. The other is how this affects police and community relations.
It's very humiliating and intrusive to be subjected to a pat-down on the street. It is something you're unlikely to forget. These aren't casual events, and to the extent that they are becoming almost casual events, that's I think a loss that we all suffer in terms of notions of freedom and equality for people in our cities.
The ACLU would like to see the Chicago Police Department collect better data, offer more training to officers, and Darlene, require those officers to give out a receipt, so to speak, for every pedestrian stop they make. So that way, in the event that there is a question as to whether or not it's lawful, that person can go and file a complaint.
Okay, so I got to ask you this. You've been talking about this study coming out this morning since about 7 o'clock. A lot of people on social media, a lot of minorities on social media saying, okay, duh, we know that this has been happening a lot in our communities. What can Chicago police do or ACLU do to stop it or make them stop it?
Right, and that's the biggest question at this point. The ACLU is saying that they are looking into possibly filing a lawsuit, but the biggest concern with that is that these contact cards that police collect, they don't label the frisks, so they can't account for that number. So that is sort of holding up things at this point.
Well, can the average citizen just go in and file a report or file something, documentation with police or with ACLU and say, this is what's happening?
Yes, they can, and it's really recommended if they do have an issue, contact the ACLU.
Okay.